Hey everyone, welcome to an open door. This is the hour we have entitled We're Sharing the Word. We're currently working with Resurrection, a channel text through Paul Selleck. Amy and Sandra facilitate the reading, and as is I'm feeling the energy in this room. It's like I'm being knocked for a loop. So if you're hearing it in my voice, I'm just becoming aligned with this extraordinary vibration. As is our habit, I have a clip of the guides that we'll begin with, and then I'll hand things over to Sandra and or Amy and or Sandra. And here we go.
The blaze, which is the divine spark in ignition, is what is being addressed in these classes, and the blazing of one human soul in its fine and full way, I am of God, I am in God, I am with God, claims the same for all that they encounter. You are not espousing God, you are not prophesying in God's name, you are simply being as the light you are, and you are knowing or realizing that this light must be in you and consequently must be in all that you encounter, in God, of God, with God. Now, to say I am in God and to know that this is true for all is an equivalency that can be claimed. When you announce the claim, I am in God, I am of God, I am with God, you are serving in a certain way that you may not comprehend until the alignment is present in fullness. The claim I am in God is the universal claim of equivalency, because God must be present in, of, and with all things. And your alignment at this level is not pretending that you are one with God. It is saying that you cannot not be. It must be so. It can be so. It is so. Nothing is claimed as absolute until it is first claimed as potential. And the claim, I am in God, I am of God, I am with God, actually transforms the environment or the energetic plane that you have been abiding in and supports its realization in the higher octave that you have been attuned to. Now, if you were to say for the collective, we are in God, we are of God, we are with God, you're also claiming what is always true. And in making this claim, you are releasing the denial of the divine that has been proffered or in some ways anchored in the manifest plane. When you announce this for another, you are not converting them or not asking them to believe what you believe. You are knowing them as they can only be known in truth. You are in God, whether or not you know it. You are of God, whether or not you agree to it. And you are with God, whether or not you feel that that is so. When these claims become alignment, when the alignment is present through the invocation of the claim and then the action of the claim upon the consciousness, the physical self, the energetic being that you are, the energetic being that you are claims this expression, and how you serve is how you are expressed at this level. The invocation, while simple, I am in, I am of, I am with, must be understood as utilizing the monad and its knowing of union, which is present in its claim, I am, I have come, I am in the upper room, must be understood as the alignment through the invocation by the monad, not in Sally or Joseph or Philip or Claire. The name I am is the universal name of the divine self. So I am in the upper room is invoked as the divine self, and it is the I am self that has come, that has come, that has come, that makes all things new, that claims a new world before him or her through the alignment she heralds, and knows herself in the agreement to source. It will be so. God is, God is, God is. At that level of tone, at that level of accord, the claim I am with, I am of, I am in God, I am of God, I am with God, is the expression from the upper room of the one who has come and is knowing all in accord, vibrational accord with the spark that has now become the flame that is now ablaze in and of and with each thing that you encounter.
Can I just say that it feels like that clip was a response to the conversation that was being had in the Avita course last night? And it was really enjoyable to sit with that as that. And there you have it. It's all yours.
So I think I'm leading today. Is that correct, Amy? We just kind of wing it here together. Good morning, everybody. Much love to each of you and all of you. As we sit here in those beautiful words we just heard, we are in God. We are of God. We are with God. I love the way the guides always bring us back to that. Right here, right now, not in some future time. Right now, as we sit here together in this holy moment. It becomes a holy moment. I love looking at your faces. So Amy tells me that we're on page 113 at the bottom of the page, and we'd like volunteers to read, please.
Just raise your hand and I'll take your names. Cindy is first, Rana, Patricia. I will be happy to read. Okay, let's start from there. Cindy's up first.
The gift here is true freedom, the reclamation of all. World peace is not what you think. It's realization of the kindred nature of humanity. It does not mean you don't grieve. It does not mean you don't toil. You may grieve or toil as you wish, but it does mean one thing. The requirement for arms, the requirement for battle, the requirement for deceit, all of which are born in fear, are released to the high octave which you are now present in and for. Your idea of justice must change, for you believe justice is retribution, and that is God's will. It is not yours to decide. The law of karma, or cause and effect, has been so misunderstood to mean punishment that you forget you're in school, and any encounter must be seen as an opportunity to learn. Now, the idea of justice being God certainly does not mean that there is a God that will smite or offer retribution for a crime committed. The idea of karma can support this, but not as vendetta, but as an offering to educate. You do not kill what you know to be holy, but you murder freely in your denial of the divine. The gift of the kingdom in the frequency you hold is to become peace. The term Prince of Peace has been spoken prior, and all this means is emissary. If you look at a father in a kingdom and you wish to use that terminology, the prince is the one who inherits the kingdom. You may choose queen and princess if you enjoy hierarchical. I seem to not be able to pronounce that word.
Hierarchical?
Thank you. Structures. But the true meaning is so simple. All I have to say is that there was a chill that ran through the body as I read.
Any comments about this particular paragraph or anything that touched your heart? Justice. We talked about that once before.
I like the offering to educate, offering to illuminate, sharing the light. In the first sentence of the next paragraph, the human being you are now is activated to have one foot in and one foot out. I love that. It's like permission to be.
Yeah, and the last part of that sentence is traverse the realms in love. One foot in, one foot out, but always with love.
Well, maybe we should read that. Rana's up next to read. Take it away, Rana. Good morning.
Good morning. The human being you are is now activated to have one foot in this world, one foot in another, and traverse the realms in love. How is this possible? He asks. I was taught to believe that if you have one foot in spirit and one foot in the material, you fall on your face. We will adjust the metaphor for you, Paul. You are in the world, yes, an actor in the world with other actors, those engaging in the business of being. But the reality you know yourself in has been altered in vibration. In the past, we have said you become the doorway. Now we will say this. The border you crossed earlier allows you to open the doors of the world. This is very important. To be the doorway is to know the self as conduit. To open the doorways is to hold the tone of liberation. I am holding the tone of liberation. I am holding the door and the keys to all doors in love. And I am realizing each one I see engaged in this act of being in their truthful states. Underline truthful. Capitalize it, please. Always truthful, because the eternal self that you witness as them is ever true.
The doorway, the conduit. Do you ever feel that? Anybody here feel that? I see Amy nodding. Yeah.
I think I've been quick to notice it from others before I'll notice it from myself.
Huh.
Patricia?
That's interesting.
In the
Aren't you the
now.
conduit when you're in the now, William?
Could you repeat that, please?
don't you feel yourself to be the conduit when you're present in the now?
As I'm sitting here, of course. But what came out of me is that temporary step that I know I take when my foot is in the other world. It's almost like the one foot is aware of their conduit, and then I'm also the conduit. So it's a paradox. I just feel them. I feel the both, but I need to be honest about the first.
I think Patricia wanted to say something.
Yes. I think Amy spoke for me. It's like in the now, being present in the now. There's no yesterday and there's no tomorrow. It's just now. That's all there is. And in there now, it's spacious. In the now, I find that it's full of kindness and generosity. If I were to use language or words to describe it, that's all I had to say.
That's lovely. For me, sometimes I recognize it right after it happened. Like
Yes, yes.
words come out and I go, did I just say that?
Yeah.
You know, it's often so fluid. It's so fluid that it almost isn't recognizable in the moment, but it is recognizable after for me. And I agree with William. I recognize it in others as well. I can feel it. It feels like a vibrational what's the word? It's like it's warm. It feels precise and true. And I feel that those words coming from others, they're recognizable in some way, like I'm recognizing them. Yeah.
And it just feels right.
Yeah, it does. Amy.
So one of my a spiritual teacher that I think about almost every day, Zoe Marai, who really prepared me for A Course in Miracles. She used to describe it as being a tube. And I'm talking about the conduit right now. So she said, when your spiritual openness is aligned and your emotional openness is aligned, that means just open, just aware. So when you're aware of spirit, you're aware of your emotions, that means you're not resisting them, that awareness and not resisting. And the physical body, also opening in the physical body, that means not resisting, just being open. And it's always in the present moment. When those three bodies, the spiritual body, the emotional body, and the physical body, when they line up, you become a conduit for spirit. And in the moment, when I sit in the moment and I feel that, the body is filled with energy. And so that's my way of recognizing. And sometimes there's too much energy. Sometimes it's so much energy that it's, whoa, because the container of the physical body just is unable to hold it all. But I think that's where we're headed in terms of our growth, is that the physical body is going to change so that it can hold more of all of that. And anyway,
That's really beautiful. Thank you. In a little way, it reminded me of the excitement I feel sometimes. I mean, excitement isn't exactly the right word, but it is that energetic. Yes.
It's like a surge. Yesterday, Sandra, you said transcendence, but you said transcendence, and I really liked that. Like I wrote that down really. But that's kind of how it feels. Like it's very like energetic, but then it's also, yeah, it's the folding in and then folding out.
It's the wow feeling too. I mean, it's wow.
But then it's also that like really deep capacity to like mourn when like things are out of alignment, where it's just like you hold that in your awareness as well. And it's like able to like I feel it when I feel like a well of emotion too. When I'm like, yeah. It's different. It's I guess it exists like everything, like it exists in gradation.
And the guides pointed out this morning that that word equivalency, it just came in pretty strong to me when they were speaking, that there's no more hierarchy. It's everything is, you start seeing other people as other things, as you know, equivalent, not on different levels anymore. So we're on the next
We're
paragraph.
on page 115.
Who's next, Amy?
Patricia's next. Debrana, did you read?
She did.
Okay, sorry, I get. Okay. I think Patricia's up.
We're on 115 and it's
Yeah, your conditioning thus far, and maybe you should read 2 paragraphs because it's a short one.
okay. Your conditioning thus far has claimed you in a template, an entangled one wherein you see your brother as your enemy or your sister as your competitor. Excuse me. You are being taken to an equality that you have not yet known. Now, equality terrifies you. You believe there must be a victor, a winner at the game of what you call life. This is perpetuated by you, and indeed, it is a lie. If you can believe for an instant that there is one of you who is more loved by the divine than the next, not only are you being foolish, you're being vain. Each of you here is deeply loved. There's nothing you could do in any world to alter that truth. And even an act done in the denial of the divine is already forgiven. Did you hear those words? An atonement, if you wish, be true, but true. Let me try that again. And even any act done in the denial of the divine is already forgiven. Did you hear those words? An atonement, if you wish, but true. There is nothing you could do to put you outside of the divine, but your belief in fear, your desire for hatred, requires you to do this for yourself. We love you as you are. We teach you as you prepare for the great journey in anticipation of embodiment. Period, period, period. Yet this is the next stop. Yet this is in the text. Stop now.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What, where are we? Yeah. What does he mean by as you prepare for this great journey in anticipation of embodiment? What does that mean? I thought doesn't embodiment mean being in body?
Yeah, I think it's integration of the understanding in a more full-bodied capacity.
That's what I thought too. Like fully embodying all that we know to be true.
It's the experience.
Yes.
It's an experiential.
What I get from that paragraph is that there's nothing you could do to put you outside. You could not. Did you hear? It's already forgiven. It's almost like you have to do this. That's the requirement, and it's already forgiven. So I love that. I love that. I'm not even a doer, but I'm doing and I'm done, and that's the requirement. It's a done deal.
Yeah.
Something about that. And that's we are all, and I love what Paul said earlier in the clip. I don't have the words for it, but somehow, even saying we are all, there's something about that. The truthfulness of it, even when one foot's, doesn't matter where my feet are in a way.
To continue with what William's talking about there, what that indicates, though, the next sentence says, my belief in fear is what puts me outside of it. You know, and all that is a belief,
Mhm.
you know. I underlined and highlighted that. I can't hear this paragraph enough. You know, there is something still here that doubts that that is true.
And I
Yeah.
can't not be in fear. Forgive them, for they know not what they do.
We love you as you are.
Well, that's a
I
tough
can't hear
one.
that enough. I've been on so many self-improvement programs, I think since I was 2 years old, you know?
I have
It's
to
like we
drop
love
the idea that there's a winner. I love that. Like that there's this is better. I remember being a very young child and it occurred to me and so this was the 70s. I would say, I wonder what the president is doing right now. And like what would come to me was like he was sitting there drinking coffee. And I would also use Elizabeth Taylor for some reason. Like I would know that they were just other ordinary beings. There was that glimpse of that.
It,
There's no hierarchy. It's all sameness.
sometimes I even find myself having the thought, oh, I'm just doing this so other people don't have to do it.
Wow.
I'm reminded of what Amy was teaching yesterday, and there's this whole section, I think it's a chapter 8 she was in, and about how you can't have two different teachers. You just get confused, you know? And we've been having trying to be programmed all of these physical lives with two different curriculums, two different teachers. And yet it doesn't matter because all is forgiven. And now we know the truth. There is nothing you could do to put you outside of the divine.
And that's back to that first sentence. The human being you are now you're navigating two worlds in love.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I fell in love with the Course of Miracles back in the 70s. There are many paths. Oh, wow. There's room for all.
Complete opposite of what the world teaches us or tries to teach us. I like that. I think that's what you were saying yesterday, Amy. I mean, it's not really working anyway.
It's the idea of separation.
Yeah.
That's, and that's what gets us caught is the believing in the idea of separation. It's all just an idea, you know.
And we've been terrified by it. Says equality terrifies you. I mean, just look at the world. Everybody's so scared about everybody getting some of something. It's like, I mean, I don't mean to laugh because I know it's serious, but it's just so obviously wrong. There's everything's for everyone. There's plenty for all. There's abundance for all.
Yeah, that was going to be something I wanted to ask is, does equality terrify people? Like, I underline that because my thought was, oh my God, finally we can
Yes.
stop trying to compete with each other. It's exhausting
And ineffective.
and ineffective.
It
And
never works.
no, it never works. And the amount of things that we can do when we work together is amazing. There was, oh, I forget what it was. It was some Netflix show about a Swami who actually, maybe it was Osho. I think it was Osho. Um, and he gathered this community of followers somewhere on donated land out in the West somewhere. And with almost no money, they built an entire community center. And it was awesome. And he ended up, falling into his humanness and becoming, power corrupts absolutely. But what that showed me was when people believe in in community, in something truly good, and they're willing to work together for it, anything can be accomplished. Absolutely anything.
And I love the feeling I would default to silence.
Mm. Mm.
This is such a beautiful book. I'm glad we're reading it. Sometimes I wonder about, oh, are we taking too long? The old the old squirrel in the brain. But
No,
it's
sorry,
just,
this is all for me.
it's all beautiful. Yes.
Yeah. Shall we keep reading?
Yeah, let's go. I don't know who's
Okay.
up next. It might be Cindy.
It's
Yes.
Amy, but
Amy.
I'll start us out and then we'll see
You,
where we
Amy.
go. I'm gonna read 3 paragraphs here. I'm gonna yeah.
Follow your flow. Just go.
Day 10. When we teach you about yourselves and the varying aspects of you, we are calling them forward to be witnessed. We witness each aspect of you in this instruction, the small self, or the idea of self that believes itself to be separate, the true self that knows who and what it is, and the varying aspects of self that have taken on identity through prior incarnation or experience. All are present here in a unified state to be receiving this teaching. Now, the true self is present, not as a student, but as an instructor. And the activation of the monad and the release of time experience that you have known yourself through in linearity claims you outside of time, where all things may be made new and indeed reconciled. The act of reconciliation, calling home to pasture those aspects of self that have been disenfranchised, abandoned, cast out, must all be collected to be re-known. Now, you cannot do this yourself. You are incapable of it at the level of personality. The monad, however, in agreement to its nature, has capacity to redeem and reclaim any aspect of the personality structure that has become fragmented. No more karma. Your idea of self is, in fact, only a fragment of who you truly are. But you have made it so very important that you claim your entire being through its lens. Your idea of self as outside of God is the issuance of this very small aspect of self that has not been reconciled. Holy Batman, so much in there.
Anybody want to comment? Amy, what do you think? You said holy Batman.
Okay.
Well, I just, can I add that the first paragraph, I love that delineation of things. And just, in one sentence, I get this feeling I'm receiving the teaching on every level.
Right.
Yeah.
This little small aspect of the self that became willing to start suiting up and showing up here is now being addressed as the whole thing,
And this is why we're so tired, and it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? Why we have to just let go. Because it's the small self, the separate self, it's the true self that knows what it is, and all the varying aspects of self through prior incarnation or experience that have taken on identity. All of that being reintegrated. That's beyond my capacity to understand. Truly.
Yeah.
I'm willing at this small self level. I'm willing, but I don't know what the fuck it involves. Excuse my expression. And I say that word because it's such a powerful word and it underlines my own willingness to admit my own ignorance. And it's not a bad ignorance. It's just like, I cannot do this myself. I just have to be in willing coherence as much as I can. And that's the best I can do.
I think the good news is you were incapable of it at the level of personality. I mean, yay, thanks for telling me that. I've been
Quit
trying so
trying.
hard all my life. And now instead of trying to swim in the ocean, I can just lay back and float.
Mhm.
Let it carry me. Let the flow carry me.
Yesterday,
And
Amy said, take a bath in it.
Yeah.
take a bath in it. Yeah.
So that one thing before you go to Cindy. So, we're told the truth is true. How many different places have I read or heard? Your idea of self is, in fact, only a fragment of who you truly are. I mean, how many places, right? It's got to be true, Rana. Stop doubting, it's just, but doubt is there, and that's okay if doubt is there because I'm shining a light on it.
And the last thing I wanted to say is, so when an unattractive part of yourself presents itself, as Alka shared with us the other day, the key of integration is to allow it to express, right? Without judgment. That doesn't mean you act on it, but you allow it to arise within your awareness. It's there. You are reconciling yourself to it. That's the opportunity. So not to push it down and say, oh, this isn't how an enlightened being thinks or acts, right? It's to bring it in and reconcile it. And that's it. Cindy, you're up. And
Yeah, that sounds like loving yourself.
it does.
Very informed by the conversation. If you weren't there, it's up. I recommend listening to it. Um, very this conversation we were having yesterday about the ego and whose will is what and all that stuff yesterday. It really feels like kind of want everyone who was in that conversation yesterday to read, to listen to this, you know? It's like, whew. But in any case, two things. One, in the reading, highlighted very clearly just how small the personality self is in the realm of everything. And that's very important for me to recognize. It can color the entire screen of awareness, but it's Michael Singer in my head who says it's very useful to stop, at night and look up at the sky and put yourself in perspective. And that one little statement going, yeah, it's all these things, but the part of you who thinks you're separate is really, really, really tiny. The other thing, and this is divine union, but I have no apology to read this into this. I read this morning, and it seems when we talk about what is the personalities to do in this whole thing, I'm just going to read this sentence because there's chills here. It says, the choice to do this, made at a soul level, requires the agreement of the personality structure. This is where will is handy. Am I willing to go on the adventure? Indeed, I am. Am I willing to know anew? Indeed, I am. I agree to this journey. I agree to this benefit. I agree to this act of choice. And it goes on from there. Yeah, that's all I am inspired to say at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Patricia was next.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes I get blown away when my mind thinks, or this mind thinks, my God, I am all feelings. I am all actions. I am everything. I am Donald Trump. I am this, I am that, I am the other. It's like, wow. So these feelings of fear, all joy, all sorrow, it's all, just that. And when I'm in the now, it's like that experience of spaciousness. And in that spaciousness, if I am everything. And that everything is full of richness and sadness and glory and fear. It's all. And each and every one of us are part of that. My God. Blessings.
I'm glad Amy hit the heart button. I was thinking, where is it? I can't find it. Alka? Good morning, Alka.
Good morning, everyone, and Sandra. So I just, I've talked about this before, how I've been sitting with who actually is seeking, about how the mind's not interested and the higher self already knows. And this really answered my question fairly well. So he says the small self, which is a very small part of us, which I'm starting to realize is extremely loud, unimaginably arrogant. And it seems to drown out the subtler part of us, which is our experience from different lives, which is so subtle, it's drowned out by this little self all the time. Unless you sit, when you realize that there is another self apart from the smaller self, it starts to make itself obvious. But the small self is not to be ignored because it takes over everything. It's such a small part of us and it dominates everything till you become aware, like everybody here. And then we can start putting it to one side. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
That's so perfect. Thank you. William.
What comes to my mind is that the story is never it, but it points home. And when I'm home in the now, I create another story which only points me back home. So whatever the story is, it's the recognition, it's just a story. And that's okay. The innocence of that, it goes with it. So I see this dance and I love it that in the silence, the now, wow. And then I can create another story that will only point me home. It's almost like there's a homing pigeon,
Mm-hmm.
and it's always there, even when I'm not aware of it. And like you say, it's that little small self or whatever I want to call it. I love all the names I can give it because it's like my little kid inside me. Just as I played with the little two guys that I had in my life for so many years. Oh, I couldn't play with them enough, but so innocent. And they always brought me home to the love that I have in the now, just now. Oh, man. So I wanted to say that.
That's so beautiful. It's like the words that you read, Amy, reconciliation kept coming up in those words. Reconciliation, re-knowing, reclaiming, redeeming. Yeah.
Yeah.
All calling us home.
We are homing pigeons, as
Homing
Rick
pigeon.
said. That's what we are. We just love that call. Right? We can't go off track. It's built in. It's a built-in homing device, right? You can't frig this up. There's no way. I mean, doesn't that fill you with joy? Oh, that's peace.
And when I see a golden lab puppy, oh my goodness.
And that's part of what an open door is. The Sangha is. It's a homing pigeon. It brings us home.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm. All right, so Alka hasn't read, May hasn't read, and Dago and Josephine and Rick haven't read. Do any of you want to read?
If no one wants to, I can read.
I'm gonna listen.
Oh, Alka raised her hand.
Alka?
I only put my hand up because I didn't see anybody else offering, but Rick, you can go first.
No, I'm just listening. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Do you know where we are, Alka?
Now when you are in trauma?
Yep.
So now when you are in trauma, when you are in fear, when you have to negotiate safety in a lifetime, there are aspects of you that indeed may splinter, may be caught in a web of fear and feel as if they will never extricate themselves. That was me for a time. When we work with you today, we seek to finalize a claim of reconciliation, that the fears you have held that have become trapped in the energetic field and hold themselves as sovereign, independent entities or states of consciousness must now be claimed into the unified state so that liberation may truly occur. Shall I read the next paragraph?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, a splinter is a piece of something, so none of these aspects are truly separate from you. But when you are traumatized, undergo great fear, the splinter itself may actually claim an identity and reinforce itself when a new fear is encountered. The idea that the body you holds sense memory of past events is very true. But the energetic system holds the detritus of an activated fear. Think of it as a blemish, something that gets infected and on occasion bursts open to inform the entire being. When we work with you on this, we are not making you better. We are quite simply telling you something very different, that no aspects of you, even what you think is darkest, is outside of the love of God. And this reunification of the splinters or the parasitic energies, if you wish to think of them as this way, must be seen not as an act of exorcism, but as an act of reclamation. That's so great. I was trapped in fear for a long time. But I came out of it like a homing pigeon. It was so wonderful when I realized there was no reason for fear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, can I just add this? I was telling my wife this morning, I seem at times to crawl into a deep, deep hole of fear, fear, fear. Wow. But now it's like, I want that, I want that, I want that. It's like it does point me back home. And I don't want to miss this because I've missed so many other opportunities by avoiding by my stories that I continually make up. And so something about this moment now is so precious. And that's why I love the word precious, present moment. And when I'm there, it's all so innocent. But boy, when I'm in that hole, it feels so scary and full. My goodness, I don't even belong to live. But it's this, the recognition, knowing that the splinter, I've made the splinter into this marvelous, huge thing. And that's what I do. And I notice it more and more. And it seems easier to notice it and move on. And there's no movie, no necessary for that either.
What's happening with me is when fear comes in, it's not as scary as it used to be. It's like held as a sensation that is temporary. And I don't want to say welcomed. I wish I could say welcomed, because it's not at that moment. However, there's more and more recognition of this process of reclamation requires it in some way. I don't, like, there's this line, I used to study the Bible, I've told you before, and it came to me yesterday. It's in James, and it says, "Consider it all joy when you encounter various trials." And that does not seem what the world teaches us at all. And why? Why consider it joy? Why welcome it, the trial? Because the testing of your faith produces endurance, and it has a perfect result, that you will be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. And I like studied that line for a long time because of all the trials. And yet I'm getting it now. The fear is not scary anymore. It isn't. So I don't know why I said that. But when you are in trauma, when you are in fear, when you have to negotiate safety, it's a full recognition that we are going to experience these things. We aren't going to just be automatically lifted to an upper room and sit on a cloud playing a harp, right? We're not going to be doing that. So we can finalize a claim of reconciliation in the fears you've held that have become trapped in the energetic field. So why wouldn't we welcome that? We're going to get out of the trap when we look at it, when we feel it, when we recognize that it isn't the scary monster we thought it was.
Afterwards, it's looking back, you realize it wasn't as scary.
Right.
It was my first step into seeking fear, being trapped in fear. And it was fear of nothing. I was generally just afraid as a child. It was my first step into searching what would get me out of fear, and I turned to the divine.
Hmm.
Who raised their hand first, Amy?
Patricia and then Richard.
The thing that astounds me and scares me is when I'm in the now, there's nothing. There's just nothing. And then fear comes in. There's got to be something. And then
This
back
is
to
a
the moment.
great. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you.
Why do you thank me, Amy? I don't understand.
Because this is the glass ceiling that a lot of people unconsciously get to when they open to being everything and nothing all at once. And that's where they stop.
Mm-hmm. But having the courage just to stay in that and to accept it for what it is, to just accept it, there's nothing. It's just nothing. And in there, nothing, there's no thing. And in the no thing, it just becomes bigger. Just
We are so conditioned
mhm.
to see objects, and objects means thoughts and physical objects and
Mhm.
feelings as our reality.
Mhm.
That when we open to pure potential and that emptiness, we feel completely lost
Mhm.
because we can't imagine as a small self there being a infinite space where there are no objects, no thoughts, and no emotions. That is so fearful to us. And yet, that emptiness is pure potential. It's not empty, it's rich. It's rich.
Yes.
And so, when the egoic mind, the limited self, sees that emptiness, it goes, oh, I can't go there. Right?
Mhm.
I'm glad you said that, Amy.
Well, I'm glad Patricia brought that up because that is a really important understanding.
One
Thank you.
way of saying it is there's no identity there.
There's no identity.
Mhm.
That might be what, yeah, because I kept thinking, I have not felt empty. I have felt so full. And maybe maybe it's just a different way of experiencing the same thing. I'm not sure. But the fullness is what overwhelms me.
Richard's next.
Hi, Richard.
Morning, everyone. Where was where was I? The nothingness that Patricia was talking about. It took me a long time to recognize that, and then nothingness is everything. And what is real is what is lasting for eternity. It never changes. What is unreal is anything that changes. So it helped me to wrap my mind around and nothingness is everything. And because everything I experience in the nothingness, and some of it's real and some of it's not real. And earlier when Sandra was sharing, what reminded me of was my resonance with Christian Sundberg and his story. I kind of believe that we're all chose to come into this experience in the human body, in the physical, in order to refine our ability to manifest the love that we are and all densities, all what's the word I'm looking for? All graduations of the divine, and experience. So this being the most difficult in the physical form. And if we can learn to love everything in this form, we have all kinds of joy and life and love and beauty and everything we want and all other densities, all other levels of being. So just being in this density, whether we think we're doing something right or wrong, doesn't matter because it's not real. And so just be the love that you are, make the mistakes you make, realize they're mistakes, and they're not condemning you. They're saying, welcome, welcome, welcome. And you're learning. Embrace yourself, love all that is. And I'm finding that a great journey, much more pleasurable than it was for the first 50 years of my life. Love us all.
Thank you.
So shall we keep going? We have time for more, or shall we?
Yeah, Rick, you're up next.
Well, Rick wanted to just listen to that.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Josephine or Indigo, do you want to read, or May? Josephine.
I'm sorry I came late, so I feel a little out of it. But now, what a parasite is something that lives off something else. When a splinter occurs, a thought form, if you wish, that becomes ennobled by fear, it uses fear to catalyze itself, to know itself anew. So it is fed by fear because it is of fear. It's how it was created, and its own action in the energetic field is to claim more of itself. Now, it believes it is supporting you or protecting you from further harm. It is not evil. It is simply a disenfranchised or abandoned or rejected idea that refuses rejection and demands re-entry into the being. If the only way it can claim this is through further trauma, it will perpetuate an issue. You may call this psychological, you may call it energetic. It really matters not. All we're telling you is whatever these splinters are, were once of the whole, can be reknown and indeed healed. Shall I continue?
Yes, let's do one more.
Now, when we speak of healing of the mind, we are not telling you that you are ill, but we are happy to tell you that you think you are, and you may be imbalanced because the seas you've been riding upon have been in tumult. To claim peace in the mind or balance in the mind does not take away identity. It simply aligns you to the monad that is the sea of great peace and calm. The claim of the monad, upon which we will call the splinter, you are as I am, is a very simple claim. You are as I am is reclamation. I cannot perceive you as outside myself because I am all things.
Hmm. What say you about this?
We forget all the time that, you know, I am all things. We forget that so often.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we need this open door to keep reminding us all the time. At least I need reminding all the time.
I think we should read the next paragraph.
Okay.
So, May, do you want to read the next paragraph?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Josephine. Go, May.
Now, the nature of the personality structure will attempt to use this to do distant energetic work. I'm going to my memory. I'm going to retrieve it, make it better than it was. We are operating differently now. Reclamation happens in this present moment. In the energetic field, the identity you hold in utilizing itself in agreement to source is the aspect of you that is brought into unification. We will say this now. Please be still. We have resistance from the channel, and if this is so, we will have to stop dictation. A requirement for this teaching is that anyone who reads these words who is suffering in the mind may know peace. And this distillation of a teaching can be understood very simply as a reuniting of aspects of self that have been orphaned, splintered, cast into darkness. Now, while we have taught reclamation in past teachings, we have never discussed them quite in this way, because the amplitude of vibration from the upper room would not hold in fullness until this next step was taken. Understand, friends, most of you have entered the upper room and hung out happily in the foyer, thinking that's as far as you were allowed. But we have lifted you to the next level of vibration, the alchemical act of reclamation that can can even calm the most stormy sea. We will say this now on your behalf. Should I read more or?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. On this day, we claim that any aspect of self induced by trauma, claimed by fear, that is now operating in separation, any life lived, held in trauma or fear that claims imbalance in the present day, any thought or invocation of damnation of self or others that has been left in the vibrational field that must now be cleansed will be done, will be reclaimed, will be lit by the brightest light so that they may be assumed in a higher state or octave of love. And then they tone.
Yes. What do you think, May, about what you just read?
It's all just happening as we agree to it, and that's perpetual. It's muscular. It's the stretching. It is that there is nothing, but then there is also this bounce back of like so much feeling, and just like different ways that this energy moves, and it moves through all of us differently and at different times, but it's all happening in that same. Yeah, it's like we were talking about yesterday, how it's very nonlinear, this teaching. But it's also like it's the primacy of mind, which is like sometimes it's hard because we get a little skittish. We're like, oh my God, no, like my mind. But it's like that's just that's the splintered aspect. That's the part in fear, because when I think in ultimately, when we are placing our awareness in that sphere, it just circles itself back. Yeah. And it's sometimes I struggle. I'm like, how do I communicate this? It's literally just presence. It's purpose. Like states of grace happen they can only happen in presence, and presence of like purpose, which is just to center within that's true human nature. That's to simplify it, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you, sweet. You are a sweetheart. Just want to hug you. Yeah, it's like, to me, to put this in like my own crude, simple language, it's like no matter what happens, no matter what it is that seems to be happening in this external dream, all of it can be cleansed, reclaimed, and lit by the brightest light, and may be assumed in a high state. And that's like a promise right there. And we can trust it.
And if we read down, it says at the bottom of page 120, what you say cannot be redeemed, you have made stronger than God.
Where is that?
At the bottom, now this very simple teaching, it says that the message is just
on the next page.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you say cannot be claimed or redeemed, you've made stronger than God, and it becomes idolatry.
Yeah, I have done that.
Oh, we all do it.
Yeah, we play around with it. I like what
I don't have to do it anymore.
No?
No, we know the
but
truth.
we forgive and we notice it when we do.
Exactly.
I like what Lonnie says, where it's like God is a 3-letter word with no space in between.
Yeah.
Like 3 little letters, no space in between. Like
come back to the now, folks. Come back to the now.
Well,
Maybe we should start next week on chapter 4, freedom. Would anybody be willing to do that?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm ready. Everybody can finish this on their own. if they
Yeah,
want.
absolutely.
I like that idea. I like to check things off with my pencil.
You must have been a teacher.
I love all of you. Thank you, Amy, for helping. I love doing this with you. Feels so natural.
Yes, it does. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
We'll see everybody
Amy, if
on.
you